So sorry for the delay. Arthur wanted to go out, and then I took him out, and then he didn't want to pee, and then I took him out again, and it was that he wanted to go on a car ride, and I'm like, we're not going on a car ride now. So
maybe you're good.
yeah. So, the other dog is at the groomer, so I think he knows that he's not here. So he's like, what about me? So anyway.
Well, thanks, ladies, for your time today. I feel very special.
Aw, I'm excited that you're joining us. Let me go ahead and click all this stuff out.
I'm just looking at our questions that we had. So
yeah, I was just doing some research, and I'm like, oh, here's another. So I don't know if you've heard of the Polka Dot Powerhouse, but I'm part of the Polka Dot group and a founding member up in North Idaho. I'm actually from California. I'm from Grass Valley, up by Lake Tahoe area.
Okay.
But we moved up to Idaho, and we normally live up in the northern part. So just an hour or so from Canada. It's really beautiful. It looks like Lake Tahoe where we live up there. But my husband's in the Air Force, so I am in Virginia right now, near Virginia Beach area. Okay. So we're going home, thank goodness, at the end of summer. So we were supposed to be here 1 year, and we've been here almost 3.
Wow.
And we're not active duty. He's National Guard. So this is very unusual. They just really, really liked him. So they kept making him stay.
Oh, and I think our closest chapter to you would be Roanoke. I think that's the closest one that we have, which is an amazing community. Beth does a great job. So if you don't know her and you want an introduction, please let us know after. We'll gladly send an instruction.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about driving down there. I have 5 more months, so I would love that introduction because that's the closest one. And the closest polka dot to me is in Pennsylvania or Maryland. It's like 4.5 hours too. If I would have known I was staying here, I would have opened one, but I didn't realize I was going to be here this long. I just was doing some research and just looking for groups because every group that I've found is so different. And polka dot's great for anyone and any community or any type if you follow some of those things, doers and thinkers and feelers. But you can probably tell I'm a doer. So I kind of was looking for a group that is like-minded, where all of us are trying to get something done. Not just, it's wonderful to have the quilting circle type of environment as well. And a lot of people in polka dot are driven, don't get me wrong. But I just was looking for something with that other level of energy. I am a motivational speaker, getting back on the circuit after 2020. I worked on some books and I have some other things going, but I just really want to get back out there and motivate women. I focus on that I call it the next nest. So that aging out time period when children are leaving and women have a lot of problems with that transition for identity, marital strife, loss of identity. There's so many things that are going on during that time that I really feel that's an integral part.
I was gonna say, so what we'll do today is we're going to share a little bit of the history, and then what we can do is, Lynn, let's touch upon the global program, because I think that might be a better fit for her as well, since that's more of our speaker. Anyway, I think it'll be a better fit for you, but we'll share. We usually have like about 15 people that register for this, but it's so interesting because so many don't show up, but we do have their questions. So if you did register for this, we will go through your questions, because I know you watch the replay. For those that did register, you will watch the replay in the library and over on Instagram. So, and then we'll have some Q&A at the end, Vesta. So you'll have the opportunity, once you hear about FemCity and the vibe, if you have any questions, you can always, and you can always reach out to us, by the way. We're completely accessible. So beyond just this Zoom, we're always here for our members. So
thank you.
I just wanted to introduce Lynn Pelzer. Lynn is our FemCity COO, and she has been a part of FemCity for many, many years. She started as a member in Cape Coral and then fell in love with FemCity so much that she started FemCity Toronto. And then that grew to a couple hundred members. And then from that, she ended up being a director for us. So she launched about, 15, 20-ish plus communities in Canada. And then she moved into the COO role. So now she is full-time with us in this capacity, meaning that she helps to mentor our communities. She is Lynn, your energy is, every day I fall more in love with you. I just want to say it like that.
Thank you.
Your kindness and your energy and just the love that you have for helping women is just beyond the norm. Like I always say you're my angel, but you're an angel to all of us. So I just wanted to send some love your direction. So anyway, that's
Look at me all emotional already. Whoa. Thank you. We work well together. We got a lot of love and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, Violet, I'm going to kind of take over here and I'm going to actually just go through some things and just guide you through some stuff that I want you to share. And thank you for the introduction. Right back at you. You know, I have 2 daughters, so empowering women is really high on my list of things I want to do for their future and for everyone that's working with us in FemCity. So it's awesome. It's good for me. So whoever is listening to this in the replay, and hello, Chantel, we see you're on there as well. We haven't seen you, but we see that you're on as well. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Get to Know FemCity. So we do this once a month, and we're going to be hearing about the history of FemCity. We're going to hear how things have evolved, what we're doing now. We'll take questions, tell you some of our top tips of what we think you would benefit from if you decide to join, for anyone who's not a member that's watching. But I also want to share Violet's bio because people watching might not know her. You might have stumbled upon us somehow on FemCity and this is your first time. You don't know her. The rest of us know her. So, and I'm going to read it out. So Violet is the founder and the CEO of FemCity. She's been quoted in Success, Entrepreneur, CNBC, Fast Company, Yahoo Small Business, and Business Insider News as a business expert. She's been quoted in Marie Claire. She's been seen in People, InStyle, Real Simple magazines. She served as part of the White House Women Environmental Leaders Program. She's been a keynote speaker for many partners, and she's also been, FemCity's been seen in Jilt, Vogue, AP, Inc.com, and we have, I think we're probably around 60 chapters right now across Canada, the US, as well as we have a virtual Canada, a virtual US, and newly launched our international FemCity, which we have partners we plan to have in every country we can to bring women together all across the world. So that's exciting. That's just launched for us recently. And you know, what I love about Violet, and you'll hear me say this all the time, so I think I'm on repeat. The person you see in front of you, in front of the screen, is the same person as behind the screen and behind the scenes. So she's just, like we talk all day long, little notes and messages and emails. And that's one of the things that drew me to being with FemCity, is knowing that the person at the top is the person who really truly cares about people. And so I love you for that, Violet. And I really appreciate all that you've done here for these last 14 years. That's what we're going to talk about. The history. Tell us about the history of FemCity. How did this come to be?
Sure. And Chantel has to go. Don't worry, Chantel. We'll post the replay in the Facebook group and also on Instagram and email and library. So we started FemCity 14 years ago, 2009. And really the reason why I started FemCity is I was a Pilates instructor and a small business owner in Raleigh, North Carolina for about 10 years. And I belonged to a group called Chicks in Biz, which I absolutely loved. These women really helped my Pilates business always be sold out. We always had a waiting list. We were always featured in newspapers and magazines as top, fitness studio in Raleigh. And when I moved back home to Miami, I was really missing them and missing that community. So I reached out to Elizabeth and I said, hey, Elizabeth, what if I started a Chicks in Biz here? And she was like, oh, we're not really ready yet. But let's check back in a year. So a year later, I had gone to all these networking events. I was a marketing manager at the Four Seasons, handling the PR and marketing for their club and spa. And the Four Seasons wanted me to go to all the networking events. So I went to all the networking events, and the ones that were $100 a ticket and the ones that were free. And I continuously grew a sense of just craving that community that I had. So I reached out to Elizabeth again and I said, hey, it's been a year. I'd love to start Chicks in Biz here. And she said, we're not there yet. I said, you know what? I'm just going to start something and then we can loop it in later on. I'm just going to start something. So I asked a couple of girlfriends to get together. We had lunch. It was about just a handful of us. Told them what I wanted to start. I told them that I wanted it to feel really good. I wanted it to be a sense of community, a sisterhood. I wanted it to be diverse as well. So it wasn't just for women our age bracket or our color skin, but for women from all spectrums of life and age. And our first event was pretty awful. It's like our first event had no format, so we just kind of stared at each other. And then the second event, those women really liked it, even though I thought it was a failure. They really liked it and they shared it. So we had 60 women show up at the second event. And then towards the end of that year, I had a woman come up to me and say, I get stressed out every month because your events are sold out in Miami and I drive from Fort Lauderdale. I think you're being very selfish for not starting FemCity in Fort Lauderdale. And that was a really big wake-up call. No one had ever called me selfish. At the time, I had 3 kids, 3 different schools, and served on 6 different boards, raising millions of dollars for charities, plus having my own PR firm and then starting FemCity on the side. So I'd never been called selfish. But as the universe works, the next day, people started asking me for FemCity. Like, who do I talk to start FemCity in my community? Because of this new platform at the time, Facebook. My son had gotten me on Facebook. We were posting every picture from our events, and the pictures really conveyed the energy of FemCity. And so after 10 people requesting for FemCity in their backyard, I thought there's something bigger here that I don't see. Let me dive in. So I did a focus group. We launched Fort Lauderdale. Obviously, it was very successful. I thought, well, it's successful because we're so close. Let's try something really far. We then launched in Philadelphia. Had never been to Philadelphia. Didn't know the president personally in Philadelphia. Met her on LinkedIn. She did an amazing job, rocked and rolled it all over the place. And so that really started our growth. We launched 3 communities, sat and paused, asked, how does it feel? Does it still feel like family? Does it still feel warm and fuzzy? Are you still making connections? Are you still growing your brand? And then after that, Google came over and Google said, hey, we love the work that you're doing. We'd love to partner up. So they taught some of our online classes. Those were the first online classes. And after that, Yelp reached out to us and said, hey, we'd love to teach some classes for your members. So Yelp became a partner of ours. And that really was the first start of our evolution into being in the online space. So we've been teaching online curriculum for about 13 years now. We do business classes, we do mentorship, we do group coaching, we do marketing, trends. We even do personal development as well. So we even have like a mental health summit or series that's going on in the month of May. So that is the evolution of FemCity where we are today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. I love it. It's been quite a ride.
Exactly.
It's been quite a ride. So, and anything you want to note about locations that we are looking to fill, just in case there's anybody on, or any new cities that are coming out?
So you put me on the spot because we have so many new cities. I can't remember. I know Dallas Fort Worth is a new one.
Yes.
We've got one in mid-Florida that's launching. We did have someone who registered for this that asked about starting a chapter in LA. And
Yes.
so if you are interested in starting a chapter, it is with compensation. It's supposed to be a win-win, meaning that you do get compensated, but then you also are able to grow your brand through the platform. You would just visit femcity.com/start-a-femcity. So it's really easy to start. It's not easy work because we have to hold the space for women and we have to, produce events for them and workshops, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add also, one thing that we started during the pandemic is a scholarship program. So we had so many members that could no longer afford the membership. They had been laid off or they were moving, relocating, taking care of aging parents, homeschooling. And so we do have a scholarship program because our commitment is to help women around the world. And part of that is making it accessible for all women. So if you're watching this and you cannot afford our $15.99 a month membership, there is a scholarship fund ready for you. So we want to make sure that all women have the support that they need to create the life that they deserve and that they crave and that they want. We also have a FemCity Girls program as well. I just want to mention that one. We have a FemCity Girls program. Again, that's free curriculum at femcitygirls.org that runs through our nonprofit. And that is creating programs for young girls aged 12 to 18 so that they are empowered to perhaps start their own business in the future, so they feel comfortable in being in that space. So I think I covered everything. The only other thing is the international program that we're partnering up with women in Nepal. We have partners in India as well through Head India and Aruba Chamber of Commerce. So we've got a lot of we love partnering up with women organizations. So that's a part of what we do also.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a couple of new ones that are in the works too. And also I wanted to mention too, that something that's important to us, and we've been working on this the last few years, is our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. We have a committee and we've been just like pouring into that and just growing. And it's a journey, it's a journey to always keep doing better and trying to, relay that to our members and our president. And so that's been really fulfilling. And I know you and I both did a certification program through University of Michigan, and it was good to do that. And it's just, anyway, I just mentioned it because it's important. So if you're listening to it, that's what's important to us. So we want other people that it's important to them too.
Yeah, and to make sure it's accessible, right? So we want to make sure it's physically accessible for all women. And then our website also making sure that those that have hearing or visible eyesight challenges are able to access the content. So that's been a huge, again, going back to the mission of being there for all women.
Yes. So what about just name me a few things with the membership that you think are the best used or your favorite benefits. And then you can go into the local, there's two memberships, right? So we have a local membership and we have a global membership, which is really a global program. It's kind of a different thing. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. And Arthur.
Oh, hi, Arthur.
Yeah, he's been like scratching. So, okay, you're part of it now. So the local program, I think the top 3 things that I would do, there are a lot of benefits. We've been around for 14 years. And so there are a lot of benefits. And I know it can be overwhelming to join thinking that the only benefit is attending local events, but we have so many things going on. As I mentioned before, the group coaching, the mentorship, the weekly virtual networking, the Facebook group, the forum. I would start with, if you do have a local community, I would start with reaching out to that president and just sharing a little bit about who you are. And this will help because she can set introductions up for you. She can think about people that you need to know. So if you don't have a physical chapter near you, we do have those virtual programs as well. We have virtual US, virtual Canada, and then of course we have the virtual international for our partners in Aruba, in Estonia, in Spain, in London. So we do have that as well, but we also have presidents there. So I would definitely reach out to them. They're going to be your point person for a lot of great not only conversations, but relationships that will help develop your brand. The second thing is I would definitely attend our virtual networking every Wednesday. I think that's the best ROI. For $15.99 a month, you get to meet 20 women that are rocking and rolling in their business, and they believe in you. They want your success as well. So you can share about yourself within 2 minutes. It's sharing a win, something amazing that's happened to you recently. It's sharing gratitude for another woman anywhere in the world. It does not have to be a FemCity member. And the third one is sharing an ask, what you need help with. And the reason why we've structured that format is because we don't take enough time to celebrate our own wins. Women have a really hard time standing in that space of greatness and just sharing their win. They also, we don't acknowledge the greatness in other women as often as we should. So it becomes habitual for us to take the time to honor and love on each other and then accept that love as well, right? Instead of saying, oh no, it's okay. I really didn't do it. It was so-and-so. Just taking that in and just making that part of your daily practice. And then the third one is an ask. Women have a really hard time verbalizing what they need help with. They think that they have to do everything. So that is the reason why we have those 3. And then the third one is, I think the group coaching is really great. Office Hours with Violette. As Lynn mentioned, I've been featured in pretty much every business magazine. I've worked with a lot of colleges with their curriculum as well. When it comes to entrepreneurship, I've been a business owner. I've owned many businesses. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have made. So you have access to my brain, which I think is really, really, for $15.99 a month, I think that's really, but those are my 3 favorite ones. And then for the global program is really, I feel it like it's a marketing kind of accelerator program. That program is not for everyone. That program is for women that are looking at growing their brands globally through the platform of FemCity. So that means being one of our speakers, being one of our coaches, being one of our writers and contributors, being in the space with other women that are also growing their brands globally. So we meet every single Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. They all pretty much are self-made millionaire, not millionaires, they've made women. They are authors, they are podcast hosts. So they're all helping each other. So I think that is a really great program. Again, it's not for everyone, but if you're a content creator or speaker, teacher, coach, writer, that's a great program for you. I also share my leads with you. So if I have speaking leads, I share it with you. If there's some PR leads, I share it with you. We've had some of our members on Good Morning America. We've had some of them speak. And then we also do corporate programming. So if you're in the global program, you are one of the ways to grow your brand is for us to tap you into being a teacher for one of our corporate partners. when we do the corporate programs as well. So those are kind of like and there's a lot of words, but
there's a lot of opportunities. And, I think what the great thing is when people join, they get an email, and it's kind of a place to start. And just, my recommendation is always take an hour and really look through the website, really look through things, make note of questions, and just make the most of it, because it's easy to sign up for something and not really do it. Yeah. But there is so much there, but everything isn't for everyone. So taking the pieces that are most important. I also love our online classes. I always want to give a push for that, because we have so many classes that are just ready, where you just want to, pop in and learn something for half an hour. You can. So just put it in the search bar and you're going to learn something.
I love that.
And our podcast is rocking and rolling now too. Exactly. So that's another great thing.
I love that you mentioned a la carte, because it's not mandatory. You don't have to sign up for everything. Like, we get it. Lynn and I are busy as well. So just show up with the pieces and little by little, and when you need it, it's there. And when you don't need it, it's not there. It's okay. So I love that you shared that.
Yeah. I think what we should do is move into the questions. So Vesta, do you want to ask your questions first before we get to the other questions, just in case you have to jump off?
Yes, thank you so much. Well, I am so glad I found you by searching some local events, and I definitely think the value seems incredible. I kept misunderstanding. I thought $15.99 a month. Is that what you said? 1.5? Yeah, I kept thinking I was misunderstanding because it sounded so amazing. So I really
being there for all women. That our price point is there for all women. So that's why we have some rural areas, and we want to be sure that every woman can afford us.
No, and I think that's in line too, because I'm all about the empowering, and I think I love the part you said about the wins, because I'm actually writing a chapter of a book with 25 other women, powered women. And one of the things I always say is I always want to just do everything for free, because I just want to help. And being able to take that step back and share those wins and share that you are valued by what you're providing and the things that you said for those questions. I love that format. So for me, I think that the global program, like we talked about a little bit earlier, is great. But I will definitely think about to start a chapter. I'm sure you've covered this in other ones, but I'm feeling like there's probably a gray area up in northern Idaho that maybe has an opportunity. So I would love to know, a small little thing about what it is to do that. What do you have to collect so many people first? Is that okay to ask in this format?
Sure. You can ask anything. And we had that question come through. One of the women that registered wanted to start a chapter in LA. So I'll share a little bit from what I think. I was a Femcity May president, and then I will hand it to Lynn, because Lynn really works more closely with the presidents. The role is basically creating a community for women that's a safe space, and obviously that's diverse. So it's reflective of that community. It's hosting one event a month. Sometimes you'll see our communities like Des Moines, or communities like I think Nashville or Knoxville, where they have more than one event. So I don't really recommend that at the beginning. I recommend just having one event a month, starting with networking, but you can do business workshops, you can do socials, you can do book clubs, during the summer especially, you can do movie night. So we have a whole list in our manual of all the different events that you can do. But we ask for at least one, and it has to be registered on the Femcity website, because of course, that's where your members are going to be looking for it, is over there. You will create a board. The board, I always think like 9 is a really great number, because generally speaking, 2 will probably not show up. And you want to have a PR person, a photographer, you want to have someone who's a membership outreach person, you might want to have a social media person as well, you might want to have a VP, a co-president as well. But we walk you through all that through the training. You have modules, you'll get certified in Femcity leadership. So we kind of walk you through, I think it's about an hour and a half of training. And then the manual is probably like another 30, 45 minutes to review. And then we do monthly calls with our presidents as well. So, and then you get, for revenue, you get the revenue from the local events, local sponsorships as well. Those go in your pocket. And then you get commission on the memberships that come through. So 20% commission.
Is there a minimum number to start a chapter? And do you have to have them so far apart? For example, 30 miles apart? You know what I'm saying?
30, we ask for between, and we don't have anything in Idaho. So sorry, my daughter is texting me like crazy. So if you hear that being, that's what it is. 30-minute driving time is what we say. That we don't have anything up in Idaho. And the other question was minimum. So 25 members is minimum.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that type. So I really appreciate that.
Lynn,
I think that answered my questions, because I know up there we have a huge number of, so Lynn, are you in Canada and Violet?
I'm in Miami and she's in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Okay. So I know for us, we have a huge amount of Southern Californians moving up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So don't tell anybody else we're full, but I'm a Northern Californian, so I can't be too judgy, but there's a big difference. But it's been really great for the influx of people coming up there. I think it's a lot of people who want to connect, and there's such an opportunity, I think, for this type of organization. So that's why I was asking, because I know just over the border, 11 miles is Spokane, Washington. Yep. So that's another huge group. So a lot of people live in those two cities. So we're in that panhandle. So it's very close to Montana, is just right over, So I think it's a great opportunity. And it's something that I was really wanting to look into, and I hadn't heard of you yet. So my other options were already there. So I didn't have this outlet for all this connect energy that I want to share. So I'm so grateful. I never question how things happen with those kinds of connections, but I am so glad that I found you guys the other day, because I think this is amazing. And I appreciate the reach outs and the connects from you guys in the chapter, and then the Roanoke chapter. I will check them out, and I'll also see if I can check out the Nashville chapter when I drive all the way back across the country later this summer, because I always love just popping in and seeing organizations like that in their natural state, if you will, and getting to experience that each one is so slight, so different with how they interact, even though the structure is there. Even within other organizations that I'm in, you can feel that energy. So I'm really grateful for your openness, and your just approachability is just incredible. And I am really excited about the opportunities.
Thank you so much. And so we would love to be in Idaho. One of our goals is to launch more communities on the west side. So you can kind of see like our growth is really heavy on the east, and then it kind of like meanders. Like we've got a really great Femcity Chicago, Femcity Des Moines, but then there's more space that we need to definitely, we want to be there for all women. So Lynn, did you want to add anything about what you see working with our presidents?
I'll come back a bit, and thank you for all your energy, Vesta. It's beautiful. I love it. It feels like it's so great. So it's
if you
nice.
need someone to open up the West, I happen to know someone who'll talk to anyone.
Yeah, get us connected. We're happy to. So I've just put in the chat at the starting point too is you can fill out an application. Yeah. If you're ready to do that. You can also go there because there's a bunch of information there as well on that page. So you can go and have a look at that, just as more info, or just book a time with me if you want to chat further about it. And after you're looking at some things, you can book a call time with me, or just reach out to me, lynn@femcity.com. And you know what? I started it in Toronto from scratch. Nobody'd heard of Femcity. It was an American company coming into Canada. So there was it was really a whole other thing. And so that expansion was super exciting for Violette and I both, I think, at the time. And so I love working with the presidents, because I remember every single detail of every conversation I had in those first initial months of getting it going. So that's why I really love working with the presidents. I think it's just, take the steps, fill out the application if you're ready. We have a call, you do the training, and get access to all the materials we have. And we really have the structure set. And then it's, you just go, and you've got ongoing support from both of us, but it'll mostly be me having extra conversations with you on the side and stuff. And you know what? It's an exciting thing to do to connect women, but it's also really good for your own business. So we want it to be that platform for you. Yes, there's compensation as well, but just for your own business to grow, it's an amazing platform for those that use it. Some don't really. They want, they want this part of it. Some want that part of it, but I love it when it's the whole package. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, it's always one of those things where I could be anywhere and I will be meeting people. It could be the pedicure or hair salon or whatever. And, you know, you get to these people where they're like, now where do I go? I was in event planning for the resort in Coeur d'Alene. So it's like, where do I go to eat here? Where do I go to, you know, everyone always asks me that stuff. So I just love having an outlet where you can kind of collect the people that have that energy and are attracted to that energy and be able to share that with each other. I feel it just expands, you know, exponentially, right? And if the more we can share that kind of joy and energy with a group of people, the more women feel empowered to do what they're meant to do, whatever that dream is. And I really feel like that's where my heart is I just want everyone living their best life. And I feel like a lot of women, my philosophy is a lot of us somehow end up in a supporting role in a movie that is our movie. You know, we lose our starring role to those child actors that we have a lot of times. And my goal is to have you step back into that role that you were literally born to play in your life. And so I really appreciate all of this energy. And I'm really glad to be here. What are the other questions, Lynn?
Thank you.
Thank you, Vesta.
I'll run through the other questions. You know, somebody mentioned about opening a chapter in LA. So if you're listening, whoever said that question, you probably got some great information. Another question was, how do I choose a home group? So a base chapter. So yes, people, if you're joining, people will join that specific local group, and you can look at our locations to see what they are. On the website, you'll see a tab for locations. And then when you go to sign up, there's a little drop down and you choose your city. So it's really as simple as that. And if there is none, then you can choose a virtual and start there, like the virtual Canada or virtual US. How many virtual networking events are there per month? Well, every Wednesday we have one. So there's 4 now that are available to everybody, no matter what membership you're in, whatever city you're in, that's for anybody. So that's pretty awesome. Speaking opportunities was a question. Are there speaking opportunities? Yes. In the global program, there are lots. So that's something for the global members. I think they really like it. I mean, we get so much value from them because a lot of them are experts in so many things that other women want to know. Another question was, are there restrictions for posting in the Facebook group? So we have a FemCity community Facebook group that has 1,500 women in it right now. We don't want spam. We want it to be giving and receiving. We have opportunities to do coffee chats. You know, we purposely put things in there to get conversations going and women connecting and getting to know each other. If you have something really great you want to share that's, you know, a promotional thing here and there, of course, do that, especially if it's of value to others. But just no spamming, right? Violet, anything else you want to add about that one?
I was going to say, so our members are passionate about FemCity and our mission. So I find that they're the first ones to report spamming. So if someone's something, I get an alert. I'm sure you do as well because you're an admin, but it'll say like so-and-so reported spam. So it's self-monitored. Like we don't go in there, we don't remove anything. We don't, you know, approve certain posts. Like it's, you know, we trust each other. But I will say if you post something inappropriate, our femmes are on it. So it works out. It just works out really nice. If you are going to post on Facebook and you want success, meaning you want people to engage with your comment and sign up for whatever you're offering, really the trick is before you post, start commenting on other people's posts and develop a relationship like that. Because after a while, let's say if I'm doing that, and I do this with other Facebook groups, I belong to a PR one, it has like, you know, 20,000 people. I will like their comments, I will comment and add value when I can. And then when I end up posting my own thing, I already have an army of support because I've supported them and I've cheered them on and I've assisted them. So that's really a great strategy to have. That if that is your only reason of joining FemCity, because sometimes that is, it's just to use that Facebook group or our forum. Definitely just develop relationships because humans do business with humans they know, love, and trust. And so you have to have that first. If you sit there all day long and you like, I have a sale, buy my book, it's going to go crickets. And then you also will almost like work against yourself, where people will see it and go, oh my gosh, there it is again. You know, she never shows up for anything I post, or she's never commenting. I don't know who she is, but so you definitely want to just, you know, FemCity is all about building the relationships, nurturing them, not about what's in it for me.
Right.
And every Friday we have share a win. We have a thread that goes through, and sometimes that win is something in business. And so it actually does showcase you too, but everyone loves to cheer each other on. So of course there's great ways to do that. But anyway, so restriction is, no spam, no bad stuff. You know what the bad stuff is already.
Yep. Are those all the questions? There was one about someone who wanted to join. There was one, I think I emailed it to you after the fact, Lynn, but there was one that said like, I'm a Miami member and like, how do I find my events? Generally you would just go to femcitymiami.com. That's probably the easiest way, but you can always go to femcity.com, log in, and then hit the members portal and you have it there. And I also host a member orientation once a month. So I highly recommend you join me for that. I don't bite, I don't put you on the spot. I literally walk through all the benefits for you. So join me for that, because I walk through the local membership and the global membership bit by bit. And so that's a really great place to start. And there's a replay available for that. If you go to femcity.com/welcome, there's a replay there for you.
Perfect.
They've decided to dig up my street today. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the whole house is shaking.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, I live on an Air Force base, so a lot of times they decide to fly by and it feels like they're right above my head.
I'm sure.
They certainly enjoy flying. Let me just say that.
Well, it was so nice meeting you, Vesta. Hopefully we will see you again. If you need anything, you can always reach out to our membership liaison, super powerhouse, I don't know, marketing, events, everything is Kyra. She's hello@femcity.com.
Hello@femcity.com. Okay. All right. Well, I will definitely be talking to you. I got all information for Lynn. I'll definitely speaking to you about that potential chapter when I get back to Idaho, but I want to do some things maybe on the global side before then. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much for your time, ladies.
Thank
Both
you.
are beautiful. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.